Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this week's Mental Monday. Like we are going to get back to normal this week. I'm determined that we're going to get back to normal this week. And I have a very interesting topic I want to talk to you guys about today. It's not going to be a popular one. It's not going to be one that many people may like my view on. But I thought I would talk about whether or not the United States as a country, as a society, has a mental health problem, because that is up for debate with a lot of things that have been happening, with a lot of the pain that has been caused by different events. There's so much debate around how to respond to that stuff, and there's so much debate over what the source and cause of those events are. Whether it's some people's thoughts, some people's opinions or beliefs, or whether it's mental health problems, or whether it's how we have become to function in society. It's all very connected and very complicated, much beyond being able to say one summation of what the issue is. But I was listening to a podcast episode of Real Crime Profile the other day, and they were discussing the same thing in connection with another event that occurred. I don't want to say specifics at all. I feel like that's unimportant. I don't even want to use certain words just because I feel like that might take away from the point of paying attention to mental health. So the whole question is mental health the problem? Or is access to things a problem? Or is the way we function as a society the problem? And we're not just talking one type of event here. We're talking multiple ways that mass amounts of people are being hurt, and multiple systems of dysfunction and abuse that are happening. A lot has come out in the media of what's going on in Hollywood, and that I feel like is another part of this. So I wanted to touch on that, and I wanted to kind of gear you guys towards that Real Crime Profile episode, because it was very good at getting to the heart of the matter, and definitely refreshing to not just have a back and forth of you're wrong, no you're wrong, and actually discussing what systems are broken and what might be actually able to make progress in preventing things from like that from happening again. So I won't go into everything they said, because I do encourage you guys to go listen to it. It was so good. I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts after listening to that, and with everything I've been thinking about that's been going on, it's been in my mind. It's kind of been stuck in my mind that this needs to be talked about. This needs to be a conversation we have as a country. I saw many statements online saying that people were jumping too quickly to call out mental health, that they didn't know the guy's mental health state, they didn't know any of the perpetrators that were involved in any of the recent events' mental health state, and that jumping to those labels lumps that person in with other people that have mental disorders, and that's wrong to just label them as a crazy person and say that only a crazy person would do something like this. Two things jumped into my mind when I saw that. One, it should never be too early to talk about mental health. Just like both sides argue it should never be too early to talk about laws being put in place, it should never be too early to talk about restrictions or regulations. It should never be too early to talk about mental health when we're seeing this happen on a large scale. And I say that because that whole sentiment of, oh, that lumps them in with other people that are struggling with mental health disorders, and that just says only a crazy person would do that, and that labels all of them that way. The person is violent. That is not the case. Any mental health professional will tell you there's a wide variety of responses and reactions and behaviors that people with mental disorders or mental health struggles of whatever kind have. Not all are predispositioned to turn violent. Not all are predispositioned to talk about it, to express it, to be open to help. Not all of them are going to have it affect their life as severely. There is a multitude of diversity and variance in mental health and all of the mental health struggles or disorders that can occur. And for that reason, it is important, in my opinion, to at least try to understand to the best of our ability what that person's state of mind was. Were they in a healthy state of mind making that decision, acting out those events? And the second point that came to my mind was, I don't know that it's fair to not say he would have not been in a healthy state of mind, because there are a couple different filters that you have to get through to act out an event like that. For a healthy person, a normal, average, I don't know if I want to say normal, but average state of mind or mental health state of somebody with no majorly substantial struggles, they might think about hurting somebody. They might feel anger about hurting somebody. They might let it get the better of them at times. It takes a level of either not understanding what you're doing or having no remorse for what you're doing and no emotional connection to the people you are doing it to. No level of empathy to actually act out those behaviors. So it would take someone that to some extent was not mentally all there, was not mentally stable or healthy completely. And no, nobody is completely mentally healthy or stable, but it take a substantial level of that to knock those two off and have them be able to go from being angry and thinking about those actions and then acting it out. Because normally somebody would have a filter that pretty quickly after they thought it, they would think, I know that would be horrible, I'm just really angry. And so that would have to not happen. And then somebody would also have you would also have a filter when you go to do the action that would stop you from actually acting it out. And that's important to think about, and that's important to acknowledge, because whether it's from a specific disorder or a specific mental health issue or not, there is a psychological factor to that needs to be taken into account. And that if not addressed, I don't see any major progress being able to be made. And I think the more these things happen, the more we're going to be lost in this argument of who's right and who's wrong and what laws or restrictions need to be made and who's to blame for it. Instead of addressing the problem of we all have ways we're broken and we need access to heal. And that hurt people. That's not excusing laws not being followed. That's not excusing easy access to things that maybe should be paid a little more attention to. Whatever side of that you fall on isn't really the point. The point is you're not addressing the pain somebody experienced that brought them to that point. And that is a factor that you can't really predict on an individual level enough to regulate it. So I hope that explained my thoughts on it well. I know some people aren't going to like my thoughts. Some people are going to have issues with it. But I hope I explained my way of viewing it a little better, and I hope I was able to share a little understanding and knowledge with you guys and get your brains thinking about it and kind of help you understand a greater perspective on it. Not that I have a perfect perspective on it or have any idea to a solution, but this is just my understanding of what's going on and my understanding of why we haven't been able to get on top of this and why I feel like it's just been able to build into a bigger problem progressively. So while I ask everybody to be kind, I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. What ways could we better address the mental health, psychological aspect of these events that keep happening? How do we as a society address that problem that is so varying and so hard to pinpoint sometimes? So I would love to hear your thoughts. Please be kind. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with everybody. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, click the screen and subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!